Welcome everyone to the first one of the series of Authentia talks. In these talks, we're gonna have scholars with us and we're gonna have interviews with them. In the first one, today with us is Constantinos Goulas. He is an assistant professor at the University of Twente in the emerging field of additive manufacturing, broadly known as 3D printing. Welcome, Costa.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you here. Thank you for the invitation and the nice introduction.
Let's start with some personal questions, some introduction questions. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Greece. I was born and raised in Athens, and my family has origin from Corfu.
Great. And until when did you stay in Greece?
I studied in Greece, so I did my bachelor and master combined diploma 5 years in Greece in mining and metallurgical engineering at the Technical University of Athens. And after that, and after working for 1 year, I moved abroad.
Okay, and your first time abroad was in the Netherlands?
My first time was indeed in the Netherlands. I moved to Delft at the Technical University of Delft to pursue my PhD.
Okay, and you did your PhD. What was your PhD about?
My PhD was on material science and specifically on the topic of physical metallurgy of steels for automotive spring applications, which means how steel behaves when you want to make an automotive suspension, for example.
Okay, really interesting. And after finishing your PhD in Delft, what came next?
After finishing the PhD, and actually during that PhD time, I had the opportunity to work at several different countries. So I did part of my PhD at the United States, in the United States, at the Colorado School of Mines. I did another part of my PhD in Belgium at the University of Ghent. I did also experiments in Germany at the Max Planck Institute in Düsseldorf, and also at a company in Germany. And after all of this very nice experience, I went on with a postdoc. I did a postdoc funded by the Dutch government on large-scale 3D printing for maritime components in collaboration with RAMLAB, a company in Rotterdam, at the harbor of Rotterdam. And this is I did for 3 years, and we managed to develop the startup company and also the material science behind maritime 3D printing.
But are you only an academic or are you doing also other things?
After the PhD, I continued with a postdoc of 3 years, funded by the Dutch government, which was in collaboration with a startup company in the Rotterdam harbor, where we developed large-scale 3D printing for metal maritime components. Our most famous project for that was the 3D printing of a ship's propeller, which was also included in the Guinness Book of Records in 2019.
Wow.
It was a very nice achievement. So I started, after the PhD studies, I started also working again at a company environment. So starting from industry, going to academia, then back to industry, and now to academia again. So after several years of working in this combination, I still maintain contact with industry by consulting on technical matters, companies that want to implement 3D printing, specifically for metals or for any other broader purposes that they may like.
Why did you pick the University of Twente to do your to continue with your academic career?
The University of Twente offered me an opportunity that I could not resist, so to say. There is at a certain time, the University of Twente decided to invest in developing the field of advanced manufacturing and specifically 3D printing by hiring international experts and also joining forces with a very famous institute, Fraunhofer Institute from Germany. It's known for technological development, and join forces also with the local industry to develop this technology. So we have made a team here consists of experts that look into 3D printing from different aspects, I'm more from the materials point of view, but there are people focusing more on the system or on the manufacturing side. And this is an opportunity that allows me to grow and to achieve my research goals.
You are Greek, you are born and raised in Greece and also lived there, but you are also now living for quite some years in the Netherlands. Can you name for me and the audience two differences and two similarities of these two countries?
Yeah, they are. Both countries are in the European Union. Of course, it's a very diverse region, but seeing it from a world perspective, they are quite close in values, in how they value democracy, for example, and that they are striving to grow in the same direction, let's say. So this is something that is common in both countries. And they are extrovert countries. They have established commercial trading worldwide. They are both maritime countries, so we have an affinity with the sea, and I see that in the culture of both countries. Of course, there are also some differences.
Of course.
The first and the obvious is the landscape and the weather, we could say, that makes it very different. And of course, the organization has a different approach in the Netherlands and in Greece. So the Dutch have a very well-organized approach to everyday things and also for work-related issues. Everything is more prepared in advance, let's say, and less spontaneous than things happen in Greece, let's say.
Okay, so the next question I have for you is, how did you decide and when to become a scientist?
That's a very interesting question, because there was never a moment in my life that I just said, now I'm going to be a scientist. So it was always one step that brought to the next, and the curiosity of learning more and deepening the knowledge on one topic, and actually not even one topic, so one topic brings you to the next. So if you see the progress of what I have done until now, I started from steel research. So I was working in an industrial setting, researching for the Hellenic Research Center for Metals, which is part of Viohalco Group. And then I went into more fundamental research in steel, so phenomena that I have a broader interest in steels or will trigger further innovations. And then I used this knowledge to understand phenomena happening in 3D printing.
What is really your passion? What are you passionate about?
I'm really passionate about materials and understanding how the materials behave. So it is very interesting to start looking at the material from a microscopical point of view. So looking under the microscope, and you see that it has a certain structure. Understanding from what you see how the material will behave in the end is something that is extremely interesting for me. And I like to see that from a process point of view. So you can process materials in many different ways. 3D printing is one of them. It's very exciting because it hasn't been possible to research on this before. So we see a totally new combination of phenomena happening there, that we can use them to create new materials, new properties, and address a lot of problems that are there in industry. So this is something that I really like to work, especially then moving deeper into combining different materials, because in 3D printing you have actually this possibility. So parts that were traditionally made by one material, you can start combining more into one and optimizing performance or giving a new functionality.
Okay. But can you tell us a bit more about one of the major challenges humanity will face in the future that is directly related to your research and career?
That's a very interesting question. I'm working in advanced manufacturing practically, if you see it broadly. And this is a field that relies strongly on automation. So automation is something that is slowly being integrated into the production lines of into the daily routines and procedures of everybody, which is going to disrupt the labor market sooner or later. I see also with my contact with companies and also with when trying to make a collaboration with the university, that I see that traditional industries are reluctant to use advanced technologies, or they lack the skills. So disruption is here. It's going to happen. We are moving into the Industry 4.0 era, but at the same time, people are not ready for it. Working force at this moment doesn't know how to use modern technologies. Universities do not teach at the level that is required to implement immediately such technologies and to understand how they can implement it in daily life. So there is a mismatch between the skills that are available and what is required to proceed further, which is likely also going to lead to higher unemployment rates or higher or reduction of the available job positions overall.
Do you believe people are sufficiently aware of this matter nowadays?
I think that it depends on the country and also in the sector. So people are aware of it at a certain degree, but I don't think that nobody actually knows how much this is going to disrupt the way we work in the future. So we are just touching the surface of what is possible with automation. It may lead to us not needing to work at an 8-hour regime, but in a much different way, or that we don't have to work to produce, for example, certain things, because they will be done automatically. Agriculture is done automatically already. Car production, for example, is almost automated. So we see that it goes to many sectors.
Okay, and what is your own opinion and contribution on how this should be approached from now on?
I think we should raise awareness and try to show to people that they need to understand and be able to use these technologies and to see it in their field how this can have an impact. Because the impact is mainly positive, but it's only positive when we know how to make use of the technology.
And do you also teach that to your own students here at the university?
I mean, my students are choosing the course of additive manufacturing, and they already know a lot about automation. So
Great.
they are going for it. But it is important to show it to people that are not
in the
familiar with the technology.
And I wanna go towards the end of this interview by asking, what is your passion?
Very, very nice question. I believe that materials research is driving innovation. So by researching on materials, we can find new applications, design new products, give to traditional products new functionalities, make them more sustainable. So it is really key to future development. And I like to take these learnings from the research and share them during my teaching in my lectures with the students. So I'm teaching currently material science in the Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering, and also 3D printing processes in the Master of Industrial Design. And both of these courses have elements of my research, and I like to share my passion with the students that are attending the classes, and this is something that really motivates me for my work and to find new things so I can share them further.
And how is it to be a teacher on campus of the University of Twente?
The campus is really nice. It's the biggest campus in the Netherlands. It's really welcoming. It provides all the facilities to teach in the lab classes and also in the lecture halls. And I'm very happy to be teaching on site on campus.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kostas, for this nice interview. If you are watching us and you have some questions for Kostas, please send us a message. Thanks a lot. Bye.